We're Eric and Marissa. Last week, we packed up from Cerritos Beach where Marissa, myself, and others had helped Damon and Beck with painting the container of Cerritos Beach dogs, before traveling south to San Jose del Cabo where we loaded up on groceries and supplies before heading to our next beachfront boondocking location in La Fortuna. La Fortuna was where we broke down last year for 37 days on the side of the road down by the beach repairing our rear axle. Today, we're picking you up from here in La Fortuna where we're on a quest to dig up human remains.
So a little over a year ago when we were here in La Fortuna, broken down, I had to bury our doo-doo. And today, we're going back to check it out. Should be decomposed based on what Google says. And I got a shovel here. We're gonna dig it up, and then we're also going to, add more to it. We're due to change our composting toilet at this point in time, so I'm gonna put it in the same spot provided that it has decomposed and this is actually working and not doing harm to the environment. Here we go. So if you're wondering how I'm gonna remember exactly where I left our doo-doo, I marked it with a big rock, relatively big rock, not a huge rock. I marked the spot with a rock and we went and checked on it the other day to see if the rock was still there, if the rainwater had washed it all away. And sure enough, the rock was still right where I left it. And I'm feeling really confident that we're gonna find something other than just sand. I think it's gonna be sand, coconut core, and then decomposed goodness that you could grow plants in. So there's our rock. You can see that I've moved the rock a little bit from when we were here before. Not really wedged into the ground. And we're gonna start digging here and maybe I'll find something. So far, nothing. I'm hopeful this is the right spot. Oh, yeah, this is the right spot. I'm finding coconut core. First thing of coconut core. So I think I'm gonna change my plan. I think what I'm gonna do is continue to dig this up. It looks like it's all coming out as soil, which is great, which is what I hope for. But then I'm gonna put all this stuff back and dig a fresh hole for today's newest deposit so that we're not overusing one particular spot. So I'm gonna stop digging at this point. This showcases enough that the process definitely works. All that's left is dry coconut core or compost of some sort, but there's no human remains left at this point. It's plenty dry and you could definitely use this for potting soil at this point. I'm gonna fill this hole in and show you what's left of the hole. I promise it's not gross. It looks like a flower pot. So here's the hole. You could see and feel the difference when I was shoveling in there. If you see that brown line, that's the compost sitting at kind of a sliver of height there. And when I was digging, I could feel that this sand and dirt was softer and easier to dig into than over here where I didn't dig it last year. So once I found the soft dirt, I felt like I was in the right area and then continued to dig up the compost. So here's the medium. I'm gonna touch it with my bare hands. Let's see what it smells like. It just smells like compost. Yeah. It smells earthy. It's super dry. It's all just breaking apart.
So
keep in mind too, when we did this last year, there was no teepee or anything that went in here. It was just coconut core and human feces. This is decomposing well. I'm gonna put it all back together and dig a fresh hole for the new stuff. That was kind of a cool experiment. How many people get to say they got to bury, compost, medium, and themselves, came back to it a year later, and found that it wasn't doing any kind of harm? Now, should you do this everywhere? Of course not. There's definitely certain places you should not be doing this. But is this a situation where you could and should be doing it? I would say yeah. Oh, not to go on too much of a tangent, but if you were to compare this to septic systems, if everybody owned like a handful of acres and you were living out in the country, should you be burying your poo like this instead of having a septic system? I'm gonna say yeah. You could be coming back to this and making fertilizer and just plan to year after year. All right, long enough, tangent. Here we go, dig some more holes. Whew, that's a workout. Ground here is so incredibly dense and hard packed, it's insane.
we got our hole here. It is well over a foot deep and well over a foot wide. So I think this is gonna be perfectly fine.
The next step is gonna be to go back to the camper, get our toilet, bring it on up here, put it in our hole, and then rebury our remains. So the reason I chose this spot for burying our remains is this is where we were broken down all last year. Hopefully you remember the spot. If not, go back and check out the entire Broken Down in Baja series from last year. To sum it up, we were stuck in this very spot right here for 37 days while waiting for parts to get back from a repair shop, only to have to fix it all again this summer in Oregon, which we have a series on that too. So yeah, that's why we chose this spot for doing that compost drop last year, and that's why we're gonna do it again here this year.
Hi, Ari.
All right, got it out. Time to take the lid off and go bury some dung.
How is it?
It's gross.
Gross.
Yeah, it's poopy. All right, took a break midway, carrying this big old giant bucket of poo. Whew. That hill was very difficult, very difficult. Got probably 40 pounds of sludge in my hands. It's only been 2 months since I got ACL surgery. We're riding a one wheel on dirt. It's a recipe for stupidity. Here we go. I'm staging this next shot so that your eyes don't have to see anything that they don't need to see. You can thank me later. So what I did there was I took the dirt that's gonna go back in the hole, put it into my composting toilet, churned it around a little bit to kind of clean off the inside of the composting toilet with some dirt, and then put that down into the lower portion of the hole right on top of our immediate compost layer. Now we're just gonna backfill it the rest of the way with the rest of the dirt, mark it with the same rock so that if I come back here, probably not next year, but maybe next year, maybe the year after that. But either way, I can come check on it if I want to, because I'm a weirdo.
So this is our hole at this point. Just some compost core there. One of the flaws of the Nature's Head toilet being that it kind of collects fresh compost in the bottom because it is a square tub with a round tumbler. I hate that. So, cover it up. Here we go.
Sweet. Another month's worth of love, only to turn into composting core and dry compost materials a year from now. You're welcome, world. Oh man. I'm gonna have to do probably 2 laps because I don't think I'll be able to do, maybe I can do toilet and shovel. Definitely can't do toilet, shovel, and camera. Maybe we can do empty shitter, shovel, and one wheel, and camera. Let's see. Oh yeah, we'll be able to do this. Hopefully there's not too much poo that I get on my arm. Off we go, back to camp. Alrighty, don't fall, don't fall. Where's the fall? Sandy, 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 sandy. We're almost home. We're almost home, don't fall yet. Made it back. Made it back in one piece. With no brown on me that I'm aware of.